Hey, Fifth Line, Mike Todd here, in arena host for your Columbus Blue Jackets, and you're listening to the Subjectively Speaking podcast. And now, here's Jeremy Paul and Laura Norman.
So, Trent, first things first, obviously, congratulations on the promotion to the NHL level. NHL Assistant Coach Trent Vogelhuber, how does that sound?
Yeah, obviously, that's everybody's dream who's in hockey, whether you're a player or coach, is to be doing it at the best league in the world. So that's really cool. I've been in the American League for 15 plus years as a player and then as a coach. So obviously a big moment for me, but more importantly family, and everybody's excited about it for sure.
No doubt.
Well, speaking of family, do you have anything fun and exciting to celebrate now that the news is official, or is it like straight to work?
Yeah, no, it's interesting because it's exciting, right? My wife, I've got 2 little boys that are pumped, but for me, it's not like I've arrived moment and celebration. It's kind of a now the real work begins type mentality, and that excitement of is pretty short lived.
Sure.
You just want to get to work and training camp. It's already just about July 4th, and it comes quick. So got to prepare properly, and that's where my mind's at now.
No doubt. And obviously we're here at Development Camp, which is taking place at the Ohio Health Ice House, which is a place that obviously for you, with your youth, through your development, means a lot to you, right? So just how special is it for the first NHL job to come in a place like Columbus that means so much to you for obvious reasons?
Oh yeah, I guess it's hard to explain. I was just in Cleveland, loving what I was doing and trying to do the best that I could for our guys, and I trusted that at some point I'd get an opportunity in the NHL, and I certainly wasn't counting down and trying to rush that. But right now feels like the right time for me, and the people in charge felt like it was the right time as well. And it just so happens to be here in Columbus, which is, again, if I was picking any team that I could coach for, it'd be the Columbus Blue Jackets, right? I grew up in Dublin, Ohio, so as did my wife, and it's home. It's home for us. So it's pretty surreal. But like I said, I'm not spending a whole lot of time thinking about that. Besides when you're asking me questions about
Sure.
it, it's very cool. But I'm ready to get to work.
Yeah, that's what people like us are around to do, is to
Yeah.
remind you that it's still a cool thing,
Yeah.
even though the work is still continues,
Absolutely.
right?
So you had such an incredible impact up in Cleveland with the Monsters. You've had, at least for the last few years, so many successful seasons. What are you taking from that experience that you think is going to really make you the most effective down here in Columbus?
Well, yeah, everybody wants to end the season holding a trophy, right? But the process of how you get your team to the place where that's possible is one day at a time. It's a one day, and it's a slow build, and I always said in the American League we have 72 games. Those are 72 game dress rehearsal for playoff hockey, and it's part of that is nobody wants to go through dark times during the regular season and lose 4 games in a row, but that's what helps you be ready for the hockey in April, May, and June, and you just have to keep perspective that you're building for something. You've got to step back as a coach and recognize that the big picture of I don't love our team right now, but this is part of our building and building and getting better. It's not all roses and rainbows, right? Like
Sure.
But those are the most important times, and so keeping I think we were able in Cleveland for the most part to none of our regular seasons were perfect, and we were not the best team in the league any year that I was there. We won a division once, which is great, but it's just about building your habits, your closeness as a team. Like everything is building every day, and that going through the hard times helps
Sure.
with all those things, and and you recognize that as you've done them before, and you get some experience how you navigate those moments. And ultimately, we're not trying to be the best team in November. We're trying to be the best, play our best hockey at the most important time of the year, and that's what we've always built for in Cleveland. And I felt like more often than not, we got to the point where our team was playing our best at the most important time of the year, and players were playing their best at the most important time of the year, and that's for me, that's a success.
And kind of a follow-up question to that. So obviously it's been the mentality for a number of years now that Cleveland mirror Columbus, as far as like what the players learn and how they're playing on the ice. Well, you've seen a massive amount of coaching changes down here in Columbus, and we talked to Rick Nash earlier where he talked about, putting in that mentality of, you're a Blue Jacket no matter where you are in the organization. So has there been challenges or difficulties with you being the head coach in Cleveland for as long as you were going through those transitions with the players down here? Like, did that pose any issues or?
Well, I mean, it's not, I wouldn't say it's issues, but I think the positive part of that is you're, as a coach and as a team, like, the truth is whatever system you're running, it can be successful as long as everybody's on board and everybody knows what to do, and you get everybody on board. And with sorry, I forgot.
You're fine.
No, you're
question
good.
again.
We'll edit it too. Yeah.
Basically talking about like the coaching changes down here, how that reflected on you in Cleveland, having to adjust to all of those.
Yeah. So it's good to be able to, we've had 5 different head coaches here in Columbus in my time in Cleveland. So it's a good thing to, now I feel like I'm pretty well versed in the systems and some of the things.
You know a few.
Yeah. I know a few, and I've learned a few.
Yeah,
and
right.
Now on the other side of things, it's always better for players to have some continuity from year to year with those things, because that comfortability it takes from the beginning of the season to the end of the season to really get good at it, and then if you can continue the majority of those things from one season to the next, you get even better at that. So we've had a lot of years in Cleveland where you're starting from square one, implementing systematic changes for sure, and it's a challenge. But at the same time, it's good for us as coaches, and it's good for players too to have to learn, different structures, different systems, and adapt their game within that. Because over the course of hopefully long careers for these young players, they're not going to be playing the same system their entire lives, whether it's coaching change within an organization or whether they get traded to a new organization. So it sometimes can be a little painful in the moment when you're going through those. But again, it's all about development in the American League, and I think sometimes on the positive side, having gone through a lot of those structural, systematic changes can be good for a lot of us in the long run.
Adaptability.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, and just from my perspective, understanding the positives and drawbacks from each different structure and each different zone as a young coach, from my 4 years as an assistant to the head, and learning all those things, and it's kind of been a crash course, I guess, in implementing a lot of different systems.
I imagine. And so obviously, right, you can reflect on, the things that you learned in Cleveland, what you'll implement here in Columbus as a part of that journey. Maybe a little bit harder to forecast the things that you will learn in this role for this opportunity, right? But clearly an opportunity that I'm sure you're excited about having, right? And so just talk to us a little bit about what you're hoping to gain from this opportunity, especially being able to work with a veteran head coach like Rick Bowness in this first year. Just what are some of your thoughts going into it?
Well, yeah, I think I recognize that I have a lot to learn, and I'm constantly trying to be better, just like our players are, trying to be better at what I do. But my number one responsibility and my mindset is not to learn. It's not about me. Like that's going to be a byproduct of me hopefully doing my job properly, which is to support Rick and the rest of the staff. And our main goal is helping our players be the best that they can, and helping the team to be the best that they can. And that's number one for me. And throughout that process, I know I'll have an open mind, and I'll be listening, and I'll be watching to him specifically, but learning from new experiences in a new league, and taking those with me in the long run. But my number one objective is not for me to learn, and this isn't a benefit for me. I'm here to serve and help everybody be the best that they can.
I love that. So we'll wrap things up with, so obviously you came up through the system as a player. Do you have any of your own memories or stories from development camp that you'd like to share? Maybe a little funny.
Yeah, I think actually one comes to mind right away. The summer I got drafted, I think that was 2007, and the draft was in Columbus, and I was coming off 2 ACL tears, so I wasn't expecting to be drafted. And I actually got drafted on my friend's boat up in Apple Valley and had to rush back to the rink. And so then development camps a couple days later, and it's a whirlwind, right? And I'm a 7th round pick, and I think Gilbert Brulé is a 1st round pick, and all these, Brassard and Derek Brassard, like there's some big dogs around when I was not one, and so just taking it all in. But I remember you're doing development camp back then was like training camp. It was hard. There was testing. It was like grueling, and now it's a little bit more skill based and learning, which is good for those
You're
guys.
like, awesome.
Yeah,
Great, glad for you all.
Great. No, it was bad. It was tough. So we had morning, we had night, and I was taking a nap, and I was late. I woke up because I was so tired in the middle of the week and late for the second workout, like the bike ride. So I sprinted from the hotel down the street and ran in, and I forget who. There was a assistant strength coach or helper at the time who said, "Why are you late?" And I told him I had done a radio show the day before with a local Columbus radio, and I lied to him. I lied to him and told him that I had a radio show. I'm so sorry, the radio show went long, which you should never do. I would never do that again. That's just an immature 18-year-old kid.
Sure.
I would have said I slept. I should have just owned it, but I did not get in trouble. So unfortunately, the lie worked for me. But,
what we learned
I was late. I was late and just sheer panic for that second workout of the day, and I sprinted over sheer panic and told a little, not even a white lie, a real lie about why I was 5 minutes late for that one. And I was, I was never late again.
Fair enough. Still looking for that radio clip.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
As long as it's not dated, we're in the clear. So.
Right. Good deal. Well, Trent, we appreciate it. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Yes, and congratulations again. We're very excited for you.
Absolutely.